What a week it has been on Sportswire Radio. Last week, we heard from a man beast, a war machine, Rhino, the last real ECW world champion, the most recent TNA Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer. Then we heard from World War Stud Bronson, who's wrestling some guy, WWE legend Savio Vega, who only wrestled once upon a time Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 12. Then we heard from James Fury, the Eternal Flame, who was a part of one of the biggest segments in Major League Wrestling in 2024. And then last night, in one of the more memorable and maybe bizarre shows in Sportswire Radio history, the IMF came back with New Year's Like Vengeance. And in between, we heard from James Taylor and Mickey Vargas and Torrance Banks. How do we top all that? Well, you know what? You're in luck because we have a guy that's apparently a Bitcoin billionaire. Although I'm pretty sure after what he tries to pull up, which I think he will, by the way, in the biggest wrestling super show in history that he wants in the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational, he won't be a Bitcoin billionaire. But that's okay. Bitcoin's up right now, so maybe he will still be a billionaire after all. But boy, does he have a lot to say. And boy, is there a lot of people tonight that might, I don't know, have a few things to say about Chase Wakefield, and they might say it directly. And what about that documentary he was a part of where it was like Blair Witch Project? And boy, I'm certainly hope I'm not in the middle of that. And he might even have a thing or two to say about some recent guests that have come on here and have been rather disappointed with Chase Wakefield. Maybe, and I don't know, one of the most recent Hall of Famers in Sportswire Radio's long list of decorated Hall of Famers, and Silas Walker, and maybe even we'll get a Rad Dad thought, and who knows whatever else. It is now time to give our guest that introduction in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that he most certainly helped build, the platform that he most certainly helped Rhino, Stud Bronson, and James Fury get to, as we're now at 1,379 subscribers. You want it. He wants it. My voice doesn't want it, but after all, since I was in, let's just say, literally up in the clouds today, maybe I'll show the photos as to what I'm talking about. I'm going to give our guest that introduction and start the weekend off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report. Number one global sports show. A man that seems to rewrite wrestling history each and every time he's on Sportswire Radio. They call him the Bitcoin billionaire, but maybe by the end of the summer, they might call him just the Bitcoin millionaire. His name is, simply put, Chase my friend, how are we doing?
Man, Tom, it's been since last year since we talked.
It's been a long year.
Yeah,
a long year since we last spoke on Sportswire, huh?
My fantasy football wasn't doing too good, but I did win something at the end. But I'm also winning because I'm here on Sportswire Radio, the number one
you're winning
global
because
podcast.
No. I got this. You're winning because your Bitcoin portfolio is up because Bitcoin went up big the last 2 days. I know it. You know it. The world knows it.
It does. It has, and a lot of my other coins I've had in my portfolio is also up as
I did
well.
see my Litecoin went up, and I was like, boy, not that I actually do anything with it, but my 22 coins are like worth, I don't know, 10 or 15% more than they were 2 days ago. So that's always a good
Up
thing.
is always up, and especially nowadays, it's you can take those ups and those gains.
Well, we take those ups, but we certainly have had plenty of ups here on Sportswire Radio. It has been one of the greatest weeks, I think, in wrestling history. And Chase Wakefield, you have certainly, I think, are going to add to that. I have no doubt tonight. But I'm going to start here. For those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you most certainly helped us get to Rhino, World War, Stud Bronson, and the Eternal Flame, James Fury. I'll start off with current events. Your reactions to what, let's just say, Silas Walker, Mr. Legendary Silas Walker, the DBW Global Champion, had to say about you after your match with him at Merry Mayhem at the end of 2024.
Oh man, that match with Silas Walker. Out of all things, it was more or less a learning lesson
A
because
learning lesson.
yeah, because I've
Why?
learned that everyone can say who they are, but at the end of the day, they do what they need to do to win, and that's what Silas Walker did when he faked an injury so he can get an upper hand against me. And I find that very funny because it has to take him faking an injury, getting EMTs out, and basically attacking me from behind to be able to get a victory. And I know it on the record books it'll show Silas Walker 1, Chase Wakefield 0, but the way he did it, I think in 2025, I think there needs to be a resolution between me and Silas Walker, and I don't care if it's in DBW, VTW, IMF, ROEW, don't matter where.
The Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational, wink and a nod, wink, wink.
I am no, I don't think no one wants to see that. I mean,
Well,
God
Mr.
forbid.
Wakefield, though, he talked, we talked about this at length. He interrupted you last time you were here. He obviously, has been disappointed with you. He's had a lot of dismay with you. And, he spoke a lot about Stephen Gaynor. He spoke a lot about really that you didn't deserve that title shot, by the way.
I listen. He may say whatever he wants to say, but I think I gave him one of his more competitive matches in his long span global championship reign.
It's been a very long span. We did recap that on Sportswire when he was here 2 weeks ago. I'll give you that. But he didn't think you deserved that title shot. He's talked a lot about Stephen Gaynor and this nepotism and this unfair advantages that other opponents have had toward him. So maybe he had no choice but to do what he did in order to retain that championship, sir.
I could definitely agree to those words, but the one thing that you said was the nepotism with Gaynor.
Yes.
And if anyone has any nepotism in DBW, it's Silas Walker. Out of all them, he is the biggest nepo baby I've ever seen.
But how? Wait, all right. I like you. We've had a great relationship, but I'm trying to understand. He's the one that's talked about nepotism against him. You're saying now that there's nepotism that he's been a part of as the recipient? Come on.
He's nothing but delusional in his own egotistical ways. And
in what way, though? In what way?
Listen. It's more or less. Sure, he has had a very successful reign, but as what Chase Wakefield was many months ago when he was exactly like Silas Walker, it's just going to catch up to him. It's going to catch up to him in the end. And out of all things, I think the man that came out after the match, Austin James,
who's coming back to Sportswire in a few weeks. Okay,
yes.
I'll segue
I think
that.
Austin James is going to be the one that exposes Silas Walker for the man who he is. And when that does happen, I can't wait to see the face on Silas Walker when he realizes his baby, his pride and joy is taken away from him. And I just hope Austin James can do the job that I unfortunately could not do and bring back the DBW Global Championship back to where it rightfully belongs with the fans and with
But he
everyone
talked
else.
about you, and basically you didn't have a good year, and you've embarrassed the Dons March in the past, and you know,
I may not have the best year out of a lot of people on that roster,
yeah.
but
I think
I
you've
came
made
in.
more headlines outside the wrestling ring this year. I think
Sure,
you've
sure. That
certainly you've turned yourself into an Anthony Steele. You've turned yourself into a James Taylor and Aaron Blaze. You know, names that come on here and might have things to say outside their in-ring work. That's what you. That's I think in a way what Mr. Walker and others might feel about you this year.
I can definitely understand why people feel that way, and I know that it may not have been the best year for me in ring wise, but a lot of it had to do with me coming back and realizing that I had to take the approach a different way, and I think I'm still on a long road, and there may be a ton more losses, maybe a couple of wins, who knows, but I feel like at the end of the day, in the long run, I'm gonna prove to everyone why this long dredge is gonna be worth it in the end.
Well, it's kind
And
of similar to the wedding invitational. It's been
and maybe,
you're gonna
yeah,
have a long road to this wedding invitational, and there's some people here in this chat that obviously want an invite, and I'm gonna get to them shortly. But obviously, there is Mr. Walker, and he certainly pulled a fast one on you,
yeah.
and it helps him retain that DBW Global Championship, which he has held on globally here for the better part of a half a year.
Now, if you go back onto this match,
Yes.
while Silas was being carried away by EMTs, I still had, even though all the things that he said on Sportswire, he had said in DBW, I still cared enough to be worried about Silas Walker. I was hoping that he was okay, and as soon as I said I was hoping he was okay, he comes right behind me and gives me that F5, and that that it in one way I am disappointed in Silas Walker for the
Why?
action, but it's very I'm very heartbroken in this because we were friends in this. We
Mm.
we've been friends since he came to DBW all those years ago in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania.
He had a long history. We recapped some of it when he was here 2 weeks
He
ago, and
was
mhm.
he was I was the first person that he ever saw in DBW when he came to Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. And I was the first one to welcome him in and get him acclimated into the DBW programming. And if it wasn't for, I'd say if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be where he's at. He would be in NFW making 80 views every like 8 months or so for a movie. He would be
Well,
stuck
wait a
in
minute.
the.
You didn't like his most recent post on Instagram where he kind of made a movie and other players were in there. You didn't like that?
Listen, I don't look at his Instagram.
Oh, you don't?
Okay, no,
Why
I,
not?
I have way too many important people like Sportswire Radio and
Well,
Tom
I
Price
appreciate
showing
that,
up.
but I like Mr. Walker. I think Mr. Walker's a phenomenal competitor, and obviously, we talked about him about Rad Dad. I'll talk about Rad Dad later on, and Rad Dad actually thinks pretty highly of Mr. Walker. Boy, there you go. Oops, I did it again. But you'll obviously, hopefully, have a better year in the ring in 2025, and hopefully, you'll be able to get
Fingers
all these
crossed.
fingers crossed for you. And I do know that VTW will eventually be coming out soon, Reunion Rumble, and I see some people that I know from my neck of the woods are apparently going to be alongside you in a match. You want to talk about it, or
Oh,
else things are going to get screwy here.
oh yes, some things are definitely gonna get screwy because in the season 3 premiere of VTW, it's gonna be a 10-man tag. You got Team Aaron Jones, who are the likes of me, of course.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't just in case I didn't know.
Few like Depew, Zach Depew is
Oh, by the
also
way, he's been red hot in his own right. By the way,
exactly winning the Hub City Championship.
defeated the man that I'm going to talk about later on. I'm sure.
And if you didn't know, me and Zach Depew actually have some tag team experience together in the Independents. We faced CEO Chris Klein, and then we
Okay, I know
faced
Chris
Mr. Judgment and a guy named Mal Havoc.
I heard of Mal Havoc. Well, you're not facing Mr. Judgment here, technically. You're facing Asher Christ, just to let you.
And then on Team Aaron Jones, still, we have Brooklyn Prodigies, as you know, a huge fan favorite.
I know the Prodigies. They're actually literally from
Don't get
Brooklyn.
screwy. Yes. Don't get screwy.
From fellow Brooklynites, although they moved out of state. I'm one of the few people still in the neighborhood. They left, but they left for greener pastures, but can't blame them, some would say.
True. But then you have Team Zach Daniels here, and you
have I see it, and I see a man that I'm very curious to see what he's going to do to you after what you said about him for the last 10 minutes.
You have Nikki Chooch.
Yes.
You have Asher Christ.
Nikki, who was here on Thursday, by the way, who didn't seem to be also too kind about you either.
For whatever reason. And then you have Sammy Nothing.
Yes.
And then the last, but I wish the least of, Silas Walker.
Well, Silas is there, and I'm sure he's
there, all right.
You got some enemies going against you. You got certainly Chooch and Walker, who think nothing of you right now.
This match is very unique because a lot of these guys, except for Asher, me, Chooch, Aaron, and Zach Daniels, the rest of them have never or haven't been in BTW in years. The last time we saw...
and the Prodigies, obviously.
Exactly. The last time we saw Sammy Nothing was all the way back when VTW had their reunion show all these years ago.
Yeah.
And then for Silas Walker, the last time we saw Silas was all the way in Best in the Yard.
Yes, I think we spoke. I think Silas. I think we did mention that briefly on.
And then, as you know, Depew, Brooklyn Prodigies have never been in VTW either. So
yes, the Prodigies have not been there. No,
a very unique set of two teams.
The Prodigies, knowing the Prodigies, because they're Brooklyn guys like myself, they're gonna probably need like a map, a GPS to get to VTW, knowing from where they're from.
It's very vast, and there's a lot of trees around that.
No, they're gonna need that. They're gonna need the GPS. They're gonna need MapQuest. The people still use MapQuest in the chat, but I do see some people here, and I've got some announcements for some guests. Mr. Van Hansen, I'm going to announce Hansen's back on here. I'm going to do it right now. He's here next Tuesday night. Tuesday night here coming up on January 21st. We're here at 7:30. Van is back, Mr. V to the H. He's back doing YouTube vlogs. He's doing a number of things. He's going to address his future, and I'm sure Austin James is going to want to tune into that intensely, but we'll certainly get to that. I know Mr. Walker is here. I have to say, Mr. Walker has become one of my favorites. And Nikki Chooch, well, he left New York, but we still like Nikki because I have a Nikki Chooch shirt. So you have some people here that I think you got some enemies here against you, Chase.
It's almost like the whole team is against me.
It's almost like are you John Wick instead of Chase Wakefield? I don't know if you got John Wick's ability, martial arts wise, but it seems like we should have like a picture of you, like in the John Wick image.
Yes, I love that.
Like all the people with the knives out, you got Chooch, you got Walker.
Man. Oh, and it's crazy too because me and Asher have some history as well because I was the YouTube champion. And
he had some problems with you last year. Yes, he had a big problem with you last season.
We had one of my more favorite matches in recent memory. I would say was me, Chooch, and Asher Christ.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, Chase Wakefield, you have a lot of people here in the chat. I really do feel like you should be we should get a photo of you and just Photoshop John Wick.
Listen, I'm all for it. I have enough.
You even got like the look a little bit. You're doing like the Keanu Reeves, like John Wick 3 and 4 look. You got the hair going again. You got the mustache.
I just know that.
Are you trying? Wait, maybe Silas is right. You're not going to do the wedding invitation. Are you trying? Because I have heard talk about John Wick 5. Are you're trying your hat to maybe replace Mr. Reeves, maybe because you got so many enemies right now in the wrestling world right now.
Yeah, listen. As long as it's replacing Keanu at that point and not his role as Shadow on Sonic 3, then I don't know.
Well, don't spoil it for the chat. I saw Sonic 3. I thought that Sonic 3 was a great movie. And Rad Dad liked it, by the way. I'm gonna leave that. He thought it was great. We're not arguing with Rad.
I'm not
I know people.
saying I'm
Okay,
not saying
say it about
anything.
what? What do you want to say?
I didn't like the CGI. Okay, I didn't like the lips moving. Okay, it was kind of weird.
I don't know. I liked it. But you know what? There's people that haven't seen the movie. I don't want to get into that. I'll get to the chat here in a few minutes. Certainly, we'll have a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But okay, so obviously VTW. We'll see when that happens. Shout out to the VTW guys. DBW certainly. I will have a lot to talk about in DBW land. Van's back on Tuesday. We have I don't know if he's Big Tex or Colton Lee, but he's back here on Monday, so I'm sure he'll have a lot to say. And Austin James will be back in February. So before you know it, it'll be coming up here in no time in March, and we'll see what the future brings. But obviously, what about this documentary? Are you gonna kill us all with the next documentary? I mean, I'm gonna put it up here for the chat for a minute, but I mean, boy, um, I pray for you and your other half, I suppose.
Listen, the documentary I felt like was a huge success. I had to.
A lot of people viewed it. I mean, I was there live, supporting you as I always try to support you as a supporter of yours, but I was almost terrified in many ways.
Now, people say that they were like scared and a little terrified, like you just said, and I don't understand
a little, buddy. I think a lot terrified.
I don't understand why, because the thing is, after I was done filming, I went to bed, and I know the two camera people, I know they left. I don't know.
They left. Well, we don't know where they have been since.
And I want to thank the the cameraman and the camerawoman. I want to thank those two for doing their job, and hopefully I can hire them again at some point if I see them again. But
if you see, well, that's a big if. If you see them again, and hopefully they run as almost like last night's show with Mephisto and Ace Diamond, where Bizarro Land, where one guy's on the other guy's window and the other guy's on the other guy's window, and Mr. Wakefield, really, I mean, you certainly had an interesting experience here in this documentary. That's all I'm saying.
Now, when we were filming this documentary, I remember talking to Brian about these apparitions I see, and whenever we were filming, there were moments where like I just can't recall.
Remember. Well, I'm going to fast forward it, and I think chat will probably say, "Yeah, you know what? We would feel the same way."
Yeah, I want to see it too. Honestly, like I want to see what people were talking about when they said they were like scared or terrified, because I don't remember anything I did that was scary. Maybe like whenever I came to check on Brian when he was sleeping, maybe that was.
Well, didn't you think that was a little bizarre to check on somebody when they're sleeping? How would you feel about that?
I had to see if he was okay, honestly.
But most people, when they sleep, don't want to be bothered. I mean, I would think.
Listen, I saw that apparition again, and I just wanted to see if he was okay at the end of the day. I really grew a personal bond with Brian, and he became one of my friends. So I just wanted to check on him.
Yeah, but I still don't think you check on somebody when they're sleeping. I don't know, just me. I mean, maybe I'm missing something here, sir.
I must be missing something too, because this is pretty normal from what I see.
Normal? Normal. You think this is normal?
I mean, that was a great whiskey. I'll tell you that. That was a great one.
Well, I'm sure that's normal, but there'll be some other things here shortly that I'm not quite sure are normal. But
I know my editor said he took a lot of time on these captions.
Oh, he did.
They were all handmade and hand put in there, so I do give him applause for that.
Well, he's a gentleman and a Rhodes Scholar, but obviously you, Mr. Wakefield, certainly They're going to see it soon, the chat. They're going to see it real soon. We're going to get to everybody because you have a lot of people. You really do have like a John Wick episode here tonight.
I'm noticing the chat's going crazy too.
They're going crazy with you because, you're a lightning rod.
I guess so.
You've turned yourself into a lightning rod. I mean, if that's what you wanted, but in this documentary, which we're going to put the link to shortly, because please go subscribe to Chase Wakefield's YouTube channel. He needs more subscribers.
Yeah,
Chase, I would give you, listen, Chase, I would give you all of my subscribers, but I'm not legally able to do that. I would, though. I would be a good friend and do that for you.
Listen,
I would.
I would love it, but I don't post enough on this channel.
I would still do that for you because I don't want to be the next subject in the next documentary.
Oh, I don't know what that means, Tom, but...
Well, we're going to find out, but, it's almost seems like what you were doing today, what I was doing here in Midtown Manhattan. Almost, you were checking out properties. You were doing, property listing. This what it looks like. You're showing us the amenities here, which is great, but this is unusual, sir.
This is his little. He was drinking, so I wanted to be the responsible one and give him a room for him to sleep for the night. It's like his little Airbnb, I'd say.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You ever heard the Aesop's fable when, you bring somebody in and you're cooking them the meal and then they realize that they're the meal being cooked? You ever hear about that old Aesop's fable?
Heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, well, that seems to me like Brian and those that are involved in this.
Honestly, I don't remember this part.
You don't remember it? Well, that's why we're showing it here, because that's why I'm trying to, refresh your memory. We're in prime time, buddy.
This is kind of odd.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dark there, right? Pretty dark, right?
Kind of reminds me of Paranormal Activity a little bit.
Well, you know what? Obviously, poor Brian there. I mean, he was, trying to get some much needed sleep, and the lights are on.
Yeah.
And
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Yeah. Well, somebody said in the chat, The Undertaker has done weirder, and people love him. Well, we'll have to watch this, and you can have your own opinion. But obviously, Mr. Wakefield, you are here. He is the man behind the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational. Should he make it? But obviously, we're watching his documentary. We'll have a slew of other things to talk about here. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. And if you're here, hit the sub button for us and hit the like button for us for tonight's show.
I remember this part here. I remember this part. I was just checking on him,
But a little weird though to check on somebody when they're sleeping. I don't remember anybody ever checking on me when I'm sleeping. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here, but this is different.
I honestly, I just came in. I don't know what that footage earlier was, where it was someone walking in and it looks like they were going in the closet or something.
Well, somebody, I guess, was going to play the Michael Jackson song in the closet, but we'll leave that at that.
I wasn't trying to be no celebrity with the name that starts with a D.
Well, that's great. We appreciate that. But obviously, Mr. Wakefield, you've returned here. And Van Hansen said I'm asleep. Well, that may be so, but I sleep with one eye open. But obviously, Mr. Wakefield, I will certainly sleep with two eyes open now after watching this documentary once again on Sportswire Radio. And you were here walking around here in the woods, and I
had to tell Brian some personal stuff.
But we're getting toward the. I think we're getting toward the moment where the chat's going to certainly have something to say about. We're getting there. Trust me, chat. We're getting there. We're almost there. And Mr. Wakefield, you never cease to amaze me, Mr. Wakefield.
I sometimes amaze myself.
Well,
some of these things.
You certainly have done that here, and you have a secret. And no, he's not quoting the Madonna song. Somebody's got to tell me a secret, to quote her in that verse there. But obviously, no, we're not doing karaoke on Sportswire tonight. But something tells me we are going deeper and deeper here with Mr. Chase Wakefield. And I don't. Janie must be a strong soul. That's all I'm gonna say.
She is definitely, I would say, one of the strongest souls, because she has to put up with me every day.
I think this chat right now feels the same way. But we'll fast forward a minute or two here because I think the chat. I want to show the chat the moment that they've all been waiting for. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Well, actually, yeah, there we go. So, Mr. Wakefield.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Now,
where.
I remember starting to take Brian to the secret, but
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember anything else that has happened after this point.
Well, I mean, obviously, like I said, to quote Madonna, somebody's got to tell me a secret here. But this secret here, I would say, be Zilla. If you're here, cover your face.
I want to see what this is. What is this?
Whoa! You know
what?
That's not right. You know what? That's why I said we don't want any trouble, Chase Wakefield. I said it last night on Sportswire. We don't want any trouble here. We don't. I told you, Chase Wakefield, you ain't gonna make it to this wedding. We don't want any trouble here. Maybe it will be Silas Walker wedding invitational because you.
Wow.
I don't know, sir. And there you are, grabbing an axe. And no, you're not Johnny Appleseed there. You're Chase Wakefield. What you're doing here, Chase Wakefield.
Wow.
Chase Wakefield. We've seen enough. To quote David Wasserman, we have seen enough. We've seen enough, Mr. Wakefield. We've seen enough.
Wow.
We've seen enough, Mr. Wakefield. You know what? You may not make it to your own wedding. You may not make it to your own wedding. That's why Brian and what we just saw there with that poor young lady.
I don't remember any of that with Kenzie. Like I remember not particularly liking her, but that was just more of a.
That was a bit much. You cannot like somebody and then try to kill somebody there.
I don't know what that was.
You know, and you want everybody in the wrestling world to come to your wedding? All these people today are waiting for me to ask those questions, and you want them all to show up after what you did in that documentary?
That I don't see why people would come at this point. I don't know what happened.
Well, maybe
I'll give you a little briefing of what happened during this documentary. We went to my favorite place, the caves. That was one of my favorite places to go to.
Okay.
Then I had a secret to tell Kenzie, and it was in that cargo container, but it wasn't what that was. And when I went to bed after, I kind of blacked out, and I was like, I'm not feeling well, so I guess I'll go sleep. And then Kenzie, I couldn't find her. So I was like, okay, I guess I need to hire a new camera person, and that's when Brian came in. And then once again, I blacked out, and I didn't remember anything until I woke up on the couch. Both Brian wasn't there, Kenzie wasn't there, no one wasn't there, so I assumed they all went home. So just seeing that kind of opened my eyes a little bit, you know.
Yeah, you definitely opened your eyes to quote Alter Bridge there. Let's just say that.
I don't think I'm gonna hire any more camera people.
Because you know what? Like I said, Aesop's fables. You're cooking the meal, and they become the meal. That's what that was for you, sir. You know what, Chase Wakefield? I have seen enough. Follow Chase on YouTube. We're gonna put the Instagram up. I do have some announcements here related to the wedding. I have some people here that want to obviously talk to you. Let's get to them. I want to get to the chat. You've been waiting for it, and we'll see. You should have some surprises your way. Let's just put it that way. First here is Zilla.
Oh, yep.
We love Zilla. Zilla is here. Hello to Chase Wakefield. She asked about you, I think, last night on the stream. Well, your wish is my command. He is live in prime time. Shark Boy 69, an old face. Yep, I love Chase Wakefield. Shark Boy 69. Okay. So thank you, Shark Boy. I just subbed to your YouTube channel, so sub to us. And speaking of people listening to this from the gym, lock in or get locked out. Chase Field. He called you Chase Field.
Yeah, because one of my segments I had where I had the mic, I was so excited to be back, and I actually called myself Chase Field. And it's just one of those things that of course, out of all people, Silas Walker would pick up and continue to keep using it. And
Well, the way
if
you were in
that's
that
all him,
documentary, I'll tell you what, it could very well be the Silas Walker wedding invitation. The way you,
he might have to be another Justin Porsley at this point.
you know what? It's funny. Mr. Parsley's got his own problems. You know what? You're the least of his problems right now because he's got a whole thing there in Iowa with Omen
I've been
Black and those
seeing.
House of Wolves. I mean, Mr. Parsley, you know what? He can call himself the hall monitor, but I don't think he's going to get a pass out of what's going to happen to him tomorrow. I don't think he's getting a pass. I don't think he's getting out with good behavior. I don't think that's going to work for him tomorrow in the Palo Community Center. So we'll leave that at that. I'm sure he'll pop up somewhere or another. Yes, hello to Shark Boy. Thank you so much. My main man, Joe,
Joe.
the star of the show. Joe is the NEW Northeast champion. He's here in your chair next Saturday night.
Big fan
And
of Joe Star.
Joe's another guy that I would love to see at the Chase Wakefield wedding invitation. Another guy that certainly would be, I think, would fit quite the bill.
I can definitely agree with that. And like I said on the last time we talked,
Yes.
when I dropped that bombshell and left,
You
there
did.
is a day two in the works.
You're gonna the
So,
way you're gonna probably put yourself in a position. You're gonna have a night 3.
with all the people you're inviting, most likely.
Well, Copper Dragon said I shouldn't say it, but he said to me yesterday, "You know everybody." Well, so that you're gonna get everybody. So if Copper said it, then have you invited Copper Dragon yet, though?
I have not talked to Copper Dragon. I actually don't have a lot of his socials, but
I will get
from time to time.
I will get you Mr. Dragon's information. How about that?
He
Hello to
does live a
Ultimate Gamer.
distance.
Yes, he actually is a very busy man, but I'm sure would love to hear from you. He definitely would love to hear from you. Speaking of people in Oregon, Roseburg, Oregon, BTW, and Mr. Aaron Blaze is going to be a part of your
Yes.
wedding invitational. And Mr. Blaze is coming up on his 7-year anniversary in his in-ring career. He may talk about that on Sportswire next week. But in the meantime, shout out to the gang there: RJS, BES, Swift, RTG,
Love all of them.
BCF.
Yes.
Love our BTW family. Love BTW. So glad to have them on Sportswire. So glad to have my friends Wrestling Zero in Australia. Yoshi Matsuda is back here Wednesday night. Rob Ryan's in the house. Zilla, though, says her favorite wrestler of all time in DBW and her friend is Silas Walker. Didn't say you. Didn't say your friend Chase Wakefield.
Oh man, I'm not gonna get with the whole Zilla and Silas Walker debacle. I'd say.
Moving on. Want to say hello to my very good friend from the IMF, Dakota Riley. Let me put her YouTube channel up. She's here on break. I know she's working hard, doing a great job for them in Iowa. I want to put her YouTube channel up, so in case anybody's here would like to give her a follow, I would highly recommend that. So I'm going to put her YouTube channel up here very shortly. There we go. You know what? I need my eyes checked, but that's okay. She's 13 subscribers away from 500. If you haven't yet hit a sub button for her, do me a favor. Go hit a sub button for her. Go hit a sub button for everybody else that's here in the chat right now. Thank you so much, everybody here, for tuning in. I can't thank you enough for your support. I can't thank enough all of my friends out there that continue to support us. And speaking of people that I know are waiting for you, there's this guy, Ed Pizzo. He's got this thing called Dooley. He wants everybody to challenge on his website. He's a big player in the world. He's friends with the guy that they did the Tom Cruise character off in Jerry Maguire. He's a big deal. He's got a thing called Dooley, and maybe he wants you to be dueled for your wedding invitational rights. I don't know, but he's got a website. Definitely give him a plug. Yeah, he's a big man. I'm going to put his link up here. He's one of my big supporters. Long time. He's back up on Sportswire. Check him out. He's going to reimagine, I think, the wrestling scene, and I think he's going to reimagine what you see going on in social media. So thank you, Ed, for your support. There you go. He's a real interesting. I'll connect you with him off the air. We'll go with that. Yep. Hello to BTW Zilla. We got Rob Ryan. Yep. Somebody likes you. We'll leave that at that.
Oh man.
We'll leave that at that.
I
Right,
think my
Janie?
fiance agrees with that.
Janie would agree. Thank you, Dakota, for tuning in. We appreciate you, and don't get in trouble on the job. Number one Chase Wakefield fan.
Oh, I think
that's not Silas Walker, right? Just want to confirm, not Silas Walker.
No, I think he's on the bottom at this point.
Number one enemy of Chase Wakefield. Yes, thank you. How you doing, Joe? Love Joe. Yep, we got here Zilla looking like a Willa. Is that
That's
RTG
crazy.
getting in on the raps? I'm doing good, and yet thank you for that. What else we got here? Uh, Now this guy. I know you say
Hmm.
you don't know him, but he wants an invite. It's not Anthony Steele, not quite Anthony Steele. It's Nolan Money McDermott, and he would like an invite.
It's funny that guys like Nolan, whatever his last name is, Anthony
It's
Steele
McDermott.
point two point
McDermott.
oh, Timu Anthony Steele, whatever
Remember
he wants to be
Superbad?
called.
He'd be like, "What was the guy's name? Was it McNasty?
McLovin.
McLovin?"
McLovin. Yeah, he could definitely be a McLovin, but he always pops up on this chat asking for an invite, but that's all he does.
But you know what though? But he would like. He's a part of the community. He would like an invite.
I mean,
What's wrong with that?
you promote my stuff all the time, so he
I do
knows where to find
promote
me.
you. I mean, you wanted to get promoted. You've gotten the promotion. I mean, people would like
He
to go and show up.
he
They would like
know
to show their
he
support.
knows where I'm at, so I don't see no notification from Nolan McLovin. So
I'll send him your
it's on him.
information. I'll send him the information, and he would like to be invited. Yes, how we do it? Thank you. Hello to Jay Ryan. I hope Jay is doing well. Yep, here. Bro standing. Okay. I'm gonna leave that at that. Thank you. I take Chase over Randy Orton in his prime. None of these others you speak of stand a chance against him in the ring.
That's a bold claim right there. I
Well,
don't
maybe
think
he
I'm
knows
nowhere
something that
near
I don't know.
Randy.
Listen, I'm watching Jacob Fatu right now in the ring on SmackDown, and Tarzan Duran was here who wrestled him. So you never know. Now Jakey Boy is here, not this Monday, but next
Jake.
Monday. And Jake's got his own super show. I'm gonna plug in a second. He's got the Riot in the ring too. And so when are you inviting Jake?
Listen, I would absolutely love Jake to come. It's
Oh, he's
more or
here
less,
now. When are you inviting him?
yeah. I have to see how his schedule is because with
Oh, I'm sure he
NEW,
can make
it's
time. He's not like these other people. He's in Massachusetts. You guys
he
are
he
neighbors.
he's got NEW TF crew, so I gotta kind of like make sure all the dates line up. But I would love to see Jake Dvorak in the wedding invitational,
Well,
maybe today too.
we're gonna talk about this because he's here next Monday. He's gonna talk about what on earth happened last week in NEW, and then he's gonna talk about his list of opponents, and you're gonna talk about your list in a little while as well because you got a list, and I think that
I
you
do.
have a list of names that you might be getting a face-to-face with. Stay tuned. But speaking of people that I do want to say hello to, my buddy Mr. Ox McCoy. Ox was here last night, and
Yes.
Ox is so dangerous that he doesn't even have to say anything on Sportswire. You do realize he doesn't even. He can be on screen.
You know,
Yes.
with the whole dangerous side and the hardcore stuff, I'm someone that actually used to be called the unkillable, and I was the unkillable for a reason.
Yeah.
And I don't mind getting a little extreme to face a guy like Ox McCoy. I even was
You
about a
do.
year or two ago, I was approached by Sinister from POR in person.
Oh no,
His
yes, I had Jesse Daniels who's
Yes.
in POR. You know Jesse.
Yes, and we've talked, and he's such a good guy, by the way. Since
Yes.
he's a
The
really nice
POR
guy.
guys are great. Yep.
And Chase Wakefield was almost at POR at one point, but some of the stuff they do is really insane. And
Yeah, we had I watched the match, which I don't know how I did it. It was Mickey Knuckles and Jesse Daniels. Mickey
oh
Knuckles is
man,
like one of like the things right now. But Ox, I would say pass on Ox. I would say take a pass on that one. Take a pass.
maybe I don't know. Maybe
And by the
I'll
way,
have to
I
talk
gotta
to
give
him.
a big shout out to Comatose, my guest next Thursday night. He on his podcast, by the way, talked about Mountain Dew Baja Blast, and Baja Blast is
Oh,
like you know what? I was like, I looked at it in 7-Eleven. I'm like, nah, this can't be any good. The Baja threw me off. It was really good. It was, I gotta be honest, like a really good drink. I was like, I was
I love Baja
surprised.
Blast. Baja
I
Blast
was
is one of
like,
my
I
favorites.
just Baja made me think like some like bad flavor, but it was like almost like if Sprite and Mountain Dew were combined with like
Yes.
a slight tropical, like I don't know, like fruity flavor. I don't know.
It's
It was really
it's
good.
hard to describe what the flavor is, but
Yeah, I was like, I
it's
was
so
like
good.
surprised. I was like, oh, that's really good. I was like, good catch, Comatose. Thank you,
Now
Comatose.
now you're gonna put that in your big gulp from now on.
You know what? I'm gonna do that in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna put it back into what's left, but I needed one. Speaking of people here, I'm gonna leave that at that. But thank you, Nikki Chooch, for tuning in. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, I think they're all coming in here rather bizarre comments. We're gonna leave those comments at that because we've attracted some big names on Sportswire. We're gonna leave that at that. But thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, who's Zilla's favorite wrestler? I think
It's
it's
Silas Walker at this point.
probably Mr. V to the H, who is here on Tuesday night. Never underestimate Chase Wakefield. That
See,
dude is unkillable. You
he
know how
knows
many times? Well, I did mention John Wick. I did mention. I mean, John Wick he's supposed to be dead, and he's never dead.
exactly. Listen, that match with Novin really not suit. Sorry, really cemented the whole name of the Unkillable, and Navon McDonald was the one that actually came up with the whole Unkillable name, which is really cool.
Okay, my prediction this year, 2025. Navon McDonald, whatever you want to call him, depending on what day it is, he will be Sportswire. That's going to be my prediction.
I really hope. I'll try to talk
You
to
know
him.
what? We had James Fury. James Fury came randomly. I mean, so I think it's going to happen.
Tom, you do me so many favors. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to be seeing Navon McDonald next week, and I'm going to talk to him about it and try to get this thing going.
Oh, I'm sure that he'll be like, that's the first thing he's thinking about. Probably not.
I'll make sure it's the only thing he's thinking about.
2 thumbs up to Baja Blast. Thank you, Comatose. That's what the dude's a sleeper. Her favorite wrestlers are not you, by the way. It's Nikki Chooch, Silas Walker, Brandon Castelli, who rocks hard as a mauler, and our world champion in DBW, and the House of Wolves. Just you wanted to confirm that.
Wow.
Nikki's happy, but you're
That's
not.
Insane. That's crazy.
You know what? Let's give Van Hansen a sub. I want to give Van Hansen a big follow on YouTube. We love Van. Van's coming back on Sportswire on Tuesday night. Let's give Van a big follow. He's Mr. V to the H. I'm getting used to the shorter hair. He's got 1,240 subs. Let's get him to 1,250. Here's Van. Give him a sub. He's got 5 albums coming out this year. I don't know how the man sleeps, but give him a sub on YouTube. And by the way, speaking of Van, you know what? Great segue. So Van, you gonna invite Van or what to the wedding?
He is definitely invited because he's only like 10 minutes away from me. So
is he gonna walk to the wedding? You mean?
He could possibly if he wants the steps. Then go ahead.
All right, but we don't know about giving him a match, but we're inviting him. He's a done deal, right? Done deal.
He definitely will be there.
Good, because I'm gonna make sure he remembers that. So
me and Van Hansen go back way even before.
Yes, I know. Oh, I know that. We spoke about this before. Mr. V to the H. Love Mr. V to the H.
I love him.
Yes, we do too. And Austin James is here. He said, "Hey, Tom and Chase." Notice he didn't say hello to Silas, but we love and appreciate our friends in Wrestling Zero. You on the losing team, kid. The Chooch is gonna pick his teeth with your bones. Reunion Rumble.
Okay. I'm just gonna send Behemoth on him and let Behemoth.
That could get screwy, by the way. That could
get screwy.
They have like the best theme song. I think Van said it. That theme song is like one of the greatest songs of like wrestling history. Like, I hope they get like rich off that song. Yeah, thank you, Van, for reminding me. I return to a place I haven't been since 2019. VTW. I will rock the foundation and create an unrelenting wave of change and chaos.
You know, it's funny. He is right. He hasn't been here since 2019, but a lot has changed since 2019. You can almost say BTW is a whole new company at this point with what BTW has been doing, and
absolutely.
He has been global champion for way over a year at this point, and that is impressive. But BTW is a whole nother beast when it comes to it, and he needs to learn that he may not be able to keep up with some of the guys at BTW. There's a reason why BTW, when we have these crossover shows. There's a reason why
Yeah.
BTW always stands on top. And not to
Well,
throw shade at DBW,
you
but
are
if
a
you remember,
DBW roster member, though. I wouldn't necessarily do that, Mister.
correct. But at this point, I'm more of a VTW guy if you really think about it.
You know what, Chase? You know what people say about you, that you're a guy for everywhere.
True. I could be like the Link at this point when it comes to a lot of these places.
Yeah, I think that's what I don't want to say, but Copper Dragon said that about you once.
Damn,
Mr. Dragon said
that's
that
true.
about you.
That's true.
We'll move on here. Before Mr. Dragon revokes my conversations with him. She's rooting for Team Depew because her favorite all-time wrestler on teams. Oh, sorry, Zach Daniels. I'm sorry, is Mr. Silas Walker. Thank you for that, Zilla. I got the point. Robert Campbell, what's next for Wrestling Zero? Rob Ryan, he'll answer
Oh, I
that.
know that too.
Chase is coming for that belt.
Oh, I hope the next time I come for the belt, I'll be more successful than the last time.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, Walker said, you didn't really deserve the belt, the shot. Chase should have said, Asher and I have history because I was Adam Anderson. And I think we certainly you didn't like to have that reference, I believe, last appearance on Sportswire. I believe that was what if I recall correctly, on last episode.
Listen, I will always love what I did as Adam Anderson. There was a lot of great moments, but I'd rather be Chase Wakefield at this point than Adam Anderson.
Your bank account would prefer you to be Chase Wakefield,
Yes, yes. I even though I still have the tights for it, I and relieve those moments from time to time. I think I'm
Well,
the
if
best
Ed
at it
Pizzo
now.
had his way, you would sell those tights on Dooley. Chase, okay. Thank you, Shark Boy, for the comment. Oh, I heard Wolfman. Interesting. Okay, Wolfman. Good. Chase Swanton bombed my girl twice.
I don't know when that was, but
Well, if you're here, Swanton bomb us the like button and the sub button on Sportswire. It's Chase's mere intimidation that scares people. He's called Wakefield because he leaves his ops in his wake.
that
Okay,
is
clever
definitely
play on words. Clever play on
that
words.
is a clever play on words, I'd say.
I went to the bar one time with Chase. Did they ID you when you went to the bar? When you went to the
They
bar
always
with
ID me. They always ID me.
Yeah, I figured that. He had little mamas grinding all over him. Thank you for that, certainly visual. We need to keep this man away from a woman. Janie, I'm sure, is hearing this and now definitely doesn't want to have a wedding with you. I'm just saying.
Listen, those were my old days, okay? I remember Made in America in Philadelphia, and
Well,
that
you know what,
exactly
Janie? I'm just
describes it.
telling you, Janie is in the chat. So if I were you,
She
I
might
would
come
say
upstairs and beat me
plead
up.
the fifth, no comment. I actually do have my notary license next. So speaking of one of people from my state, Mr. Mickey Vargas from the 716,
Yes.
and he spoke about you. He said he wanted to be at the wedding invitational. Him and Torrance Banks and Shocky Boy, by the way. King Shock is said he wants to be there. He wants to wrestle at the wedding invitational. What do you think about the 716 guys? They were once unwanted. Now they're wanted. They're everywhere. He's going to Texas, and are they going to be on the card or invited? Mickey Vargas, Torrance Banks, Shocky Boy. If you want to throw Stephen Havoc in there, Rob O'Malley, Luke Draven, all those boys. I mean, Onyx. Well, I don't think Mickey Vargas wants Onyx there, but what do you say on that?
I definitely love a lot of those guys there. I know a lot of those guys.
I'm sure
I've
you
been
do.
watching them for a while, like
Yep.
Torrance and Shocky. They're all great guys. And
Yep.
when it comes to, I'll say this, and especially for people who are listening, we have 20 viewers right now on YouTube, which is
I told
crazy.
you were like, you always ask me, oh, you think anybody will tune in? I'm like, yeah, come on. The last week on Sportswire, people, it's like must-see TV again.
And it's like, if you truly want to be in this event, either day one or day two, you just gotta send me a message. And as I said, whenever I invited Aaron Blaze to the show, he did exactly what I said. He did exactly what I said, and he took the opportunity, and he did make out amazingly. And now he's facing D'Angelo LaFlame in day one.
And I spoke with D'Angelo not too long ago, and that's going to be a banger. D'Angelo is going to be here eventually soon, and He's going to talk a lot about what he's up to right now, and that's going to be really exciting. I really can't wait to see that match. And if you want to follow the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational on Instagram, do that. And speaking of people that are coming here in a few weeks on Sportswire Radio, one of the people that I'm really excited that reached out here is Eric Black. Eric is coming on to Sportswire Radio here in a few weeks, and I'm really excited about Eric Black and his story and his journey. And I'm very excited to meet him for the first time on Sportswire Radio. We had a great conversation a couple days ago, and I'm excited to talk about him and what he's up to. So really excited about that here coming up.
Eric Black is such a great guy, and he has a lot of stories to tell, too.
Yes, we were speaking a lot. We knew a few people mutually. Great guy, seemed.
And it's funny, too, because whenever I first met Eric Black at the Fight for a Cure show for Amplified,
yes, last year,
he automatically knew who I was and everything like that. And it's like, as someone that only was doing underground wrestling at the time and only did like 1 or 2 indie shows before that, having someone in backstage of an independent show, knowing who you are based off of VTW, DBW, it's really cool.
But you worked with, but you know what? Don't sell yourself short. VTW is a big company with a big following. DBW's got a big following. Not like, you were like in small peanuts. You were in, DBW's got some big viewed shows. You know that. VTW's been red hot. Don't sell yourself short.
I definitely can agree with that. That was more of a perspective whenever I first went there, and it's like it truly shows that a lot of people are watching the product, because I can now go to a show and people know who I am based off of something I've been doing as a hobby, and something for fun. And now,
but it's not you know what? When you got the subs that these companies have, it's not a hobby, and we want everybody to follow those awesome companies.
Yeah.
The guy Slay. Okay. Thank you very much. Here.
I do Slay.
He's got a lightning rod, all right. Who else we got here? A lot of people in the chat. I got to move up here. I'm a reverend. You'll be able to scare off that vampire boy. Thank you for reminding me about that. So a good friend would do. You wouldn't realize because I'm asleep. Well, I sleep with one eye open. We spoke about that. Somebody's quoting Enter Sandman. Somebody there. Where is the scene where Chase Wakefield power bombs Behemoth and hits Tom with the Canadian? Oh, I feel like this is like a reference to the GBYWN in a way. Don't you think this is like a GBYWN reference in some way?
All I gotta say about Van and his antics right now is, we're 1-1 right now, and we need a rubber match, Van. So I kind of.
Well, last I saw him in DBW, I don't know what his ring future is.
I think he's scared to face me again. He's
here too. Well, he's here Tuesday night, buddy.
I'll be there. I'll be there to watch too.
Oh, I'm sure you will. He's gonna be here. He has a lot to say, and he may talk about this. And where is his invite? He's a neighbor of yours.
Basically is.
He ain't no Justin Parsley.
Thank God.
Omen Black would agree with you on that, winking a nod. Okay, thank you for that. And shout out to your other half, who's obviously putting up with a lot tonight. Who else we got here? Follow Chase on YouTube. Who else we got here? You stitching on my dude. He's clearly innocent. She asked tell him about Silas, Chase. You know what I mean. Van, no. Chase Field first Silas. Speaking of people who I'll see here, Dominic, the YBW champion, the man that certainly sent Aaron Blaze packing, sent him to the Pacific Northwest, and he'll be here, I'm sure, very soon. And he's the YBW champion, just in case you didn't. Now, maybe you should have invited Dominic instead of Aaron Blaze. He defeated Aaron Blaze after all, but you didn't invite Dominic. Don't doubt Dominic.
I didn't know too much about Dominic before the whole thing with Aaron Blaze, so you had to be on my radar.
And don't bring up he was caught sleeping on Sportswire. We'll move on. Dominic, thank you for tuning in. Speaking of people that were quite a topic the last couple of days on Sportswire, Chase looking extra cute tonight. Can't wait for our wedding. Now, are you having a Larry and Chuck wedding here instead of a Janie and Chase wedding, or what?
That'd be Jack Delta's dream for that to happen. And I still have a little bit of heat with Jack Delta because he still has my pop figure of Aaron Jones. And I've been trying to get it back, and he's just not wanting it back. He's putting it in his new house.
Well, you know what? I don't know much about that, but whatever he's got, congratulations on the new house, and I hope that it's the best house yet. And we hope Mr. Delta is doing well and enjoying tonight's show because I think a lot of people seem to do it. Okay, a new rivalry in the making.
Now
One-on-one
everyone
match
wants to
when I
marry
come
me.
back. One-on-one match when I come back.
I hope. I've been wanting
What's
it.
the question mark?
I think me and Delta, it was in my top five for
I'm gonna
like
get
good
to that when we
matches.
get done with the chat. I am gonna get through the chat. Thank you, Dakota. Go follow her on YouTube. Ed liked the plugs here.
Shout out, yeah.
The only person marrying him is me. So just to confirm to
Yep.
everybody here, you're marrying Janie, not anybody else.
I'm off the market, guys. I swear.
You're off the market. Ironically, today property listings. I'm looking in the market, winking a nod, looking in the market, and here we are. And Janie said that you're off the market. Um, jokes on y'all. Chase and I got to get divorced first.
That's already happened.
Oh, it
He
has.
left. Yeah, he left. He left DBW and left me
Well,
heartbroken.
who got custody of the joint accounts?
Me. That's why
Oh
my
well.
portfolio's up.
Well, me both. Okay, let's see who else we got here. Three-way ladder match for the ring. Ladder match. Get it? I get it here. Zilla loves Jack Delta. Yes, we love Jack Delta. Custody of Chase Wakefield ladder match here. Chase, you have certainly an interesting crowd tonight, and
It,
Janie seems like she's up for the challenge.
it always gets more interesting, I swear, with this chat.
You know what? When Mickey was here, we had like the wave going on here. Last night, let's not even go there with the Anthony Steele bright
Oh,
side.
I've seen some clips.
It was bizarre. Still more coming. I still miss Jack Delta. We can't. Yes, we all miss Jack Delta.
I don't.
Comatose, my buddy. Comatose has got a YouTube channel. Let me plug Comatose. Comatose is, he might be the man to replace me on Sportswire. He might be the man. He's obviously working on his own show. He's got a YouTube channel. Do me a favor for everybody here in the chat. I'm going to go put the sub button here for people. Go follow Comatose. RTG calls him Dummatose, but he's really not dumb because he's got a lot of subscribers on YouTube and he's got a podcast. It's pretty good. He talked about the Baja Blast. He talked about people he wants to face, who he wants to wrestle, who he wants to have on his show. And check it out. He's a really great guy. And he's here Thursday night. And we appreciate him very much.
I love Comatose. He's the man, not me.
No, Comatose is the man. Thank you for that. Somebody's here fangirling you. Okay, hello, Reverend Mr. Tom Bryce. Thank you. Yep, hello to our friends in Wisconsin. Janie now is getting mad at yours truly. I have enough. That's why, I really do think that you are probably going to want me to sponsor this wedding. I feel
You're
like
making me bankrupt at this point with all the invites going out.
Well, you know what? You have a lot of hand-me-outs here. Yep. Okay. Hello. We got. Yep. The Baja Train. Yep. Baja Train. Yep. Baja Train. We're in the Baja Train. Comatose is a big fan of yours. In caps locks, I may add. I'm riding a. Do people actually ride a tricycle? Is it like a thing still? Do people have a tricycle? Is that like a thing?
I know someone that rode a unicycle, but not a tricycle.
Now I know where this is going soon. This is coming. This is coming soon. I know it's coming soon, but let's get to it here soon. Soon. The boogeyman of the Midwest, the reigning defending IMF world champion, Omen Black. It is his show, Mr. Wakefield. Good evening. Billy says good evening. Then you got Anthony Steele. Anthony Steele, a man that's on your list, and obviously you have intruders. And Mr. Steele, they just say yo. That's all they're saying. And apparently, are you the same guy as Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers here for 1 hot minute? Do you want to ask?
That's a crazy reach right there, man.
Well, it's not at all. The mustache, the hair, the snow cap. No, I don't think it's a reach. It's not.
It's definitely the beanie, I think, that is making him think that.
Well, it's the snowstorm season.
I do love Red Hot Chili Peppers, though. I will admit that.
They had some good songs for sure. My buddy Joe Rosas is like a big Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. Raw guy. James Taylor. Speaking of people, you got him in threes: Black, Steele, and Taylor.
I got all of them here.
Kyle Shelby's in the house. Kyle, good to see Kyle. Kyle's got a stream on Instagram later on. Zach Clark, Pennsylvania guy, promo guy, transitioning to the wrestling world. We're going to get him eventually on Sportswire. Ed definitely wants Chase Wakefield on Dooley. We'll take care of that. Timu, Anthony Steele, McLovin, Nolan McDermott's returned.
I say what I said.
And also Nolan's back. He's okay.
Oh, they're just gonna be fighting in there in the
They're
chat.
fighting. We're gonna move on here. Children nowadays are incompetent and diseased with brain rot. We do not endorse that comment on Sportswire. I am absolutely not a fan of minors wrestling on trampolines. We're going to certainly move away from that.
I used to do it.
Speaking of people who were here Monday, but the man that used to be known as Big Tex, Colton Lee. Sorry I'm late. Sheriff duties here, keeping me where he was.
Listen, Colton Lee or Big Tex, whatever you want to call him nowadays. I don't know what this new persona is or anything like that, but if it just gets in my way to the top of DBW, I might have to take you down a peg or two, and that's just fact. And I know you had a failure tour, and maybe this new persona is kind of your midlife crisis moment, but whatever you do, whatever dastardly things you do now, because it seems like you're being a big bully, I might have to come out there and kind of kick the leg or two, take out the
Kick the leg or two. Dun-dun-dun. I see that there. Okay, thank you for the okay, they're going back and forth. I'm gonna move away from that. Tell him about Silas and Torrance Banks. See, Torrance Banks, you speak. He's here.
Okay.
I told you. Well, I'll connect the guys to you. I'll handle that one. I'll cover Vargas and Banks. I'll give you a pass. Okay, we're gonna move away from the debate. Hello to Dominic.
They're like fighting in there, huh?
I'm waiting for Chase Wakefield versus Silas Walker with Triple C as the referee and Brent Sabbath as a boy. I think there's some people that need to be kicked from the wedding.
Like Justin Parsley, which I did, as you know. He's now a fan, and he will stay a fan. And maybe I'll have to kick off some other people as well if they're being as annoying as Justin Parsley has been annoying. But I haven't had to do that.
We don't want to encourage that. We'll certainly see. But obviously, I do want to talk about a few things here real quick. But
Sure.
I want to get to your list, and which will tie into I think something really cool that's going to unite a lot of people in the wrestling circuit here. Coming up next month, and I know this month the IMF has their big show coming up here, but we're very excited about that. I'm very excited about a number of different things here coming up on Sportswire Radio. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit a sub button for us here if you haven't yet. I'd appreciate all that. Definitely tune in, join the conversation, and what a great week it's been on Sportswire Radio. We had this guy come on here in your chair last week. In your chair, this guy was here.
Oh, yes. Rhino, man. I just want to, first of all, congratulate you on this huge accomplishment. Having a guy like Rhino on your show, it's definitely a big step for Sportswire and a big step for you, Tom. And I'm just really, I loved the show. And
thank you so much.
I'm just very proud of what you did and what have you done so far in terms of what this community has.
No, I appreciate that. And it's really, to me, the people that made that happen. I would like to say that it's not about me. It's about the people. You tune in. You wanted it. Everybody liked, shared. All the people that sub come here all the time. It's everybody's moment. It's
that also tells you how big and supportive this community truly is. Because if it wasn't for guys sharing and everything like that and showing love, this wouldn't have happened. And it's really awesome to see everyone band together and make this.
We've had a great last week. Stud Bronson's here, wrestles Savio Vega next weekend, James Fury. We've had some great people come on here, and that's the people. It's not about me, it's about everybody else. And we want to thank everybody for their support here, undoubtedly, over the past week and just the last few years. And my 6-year anniversary is next Friday, so I'm sure we'll have some fun with that. We'll do maybe something for that. I see Soldier, and how you doing, Soldier? Great to see Soldier. And although Soldier, that was a memorable show to say the least. Thank you, Kyle, for your support. Nathaniel Rage, the devil is here himself. But, speaking of that, that's a great segue because, Mr. Wakefield, I was wondering that your friend, well, I don't know if he's your friend. You've obviously had some rather interesting history with him, but Ace Christian is coming
Mm.
to the IMF. He's coming next month. He's wrestling Thomas McEntee, who's my guest next Saturday night. And I was just curious what your thoughts on that were. Ace Christian, the Blaze Ace Christian, the first person from DBW or VTW to go out there and wrestle in the IMF. And I think it's a really memorable moment. It's an historic one. It's a watershed moment. And I'm, for one, really excited about it. And what was your thoughts on that, humbly?
Oh man, Ace Christian going to the IMF was he told me about it. I'd say about a week before his time on Sportswire Radio, and thinking about the forbidden door being kicked open, I'm very proud of what he's doing and the whole premise of him going out to IMF and wrestling Thomas. I feel like those two are going to do a great job, and it made me think actually, and it made me think, why don't I also follow and open that forbidden door, as what some people say, and why don't I go out to Iowa? Why
Wait,
don't
wait, wait,
I?
wait, 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 wait. Time out. So are you going with Ace maybe to go there and, accompany him? And are you going there maybe to just give him some moral support?
Unfortunately, I will not be going
Ah,
in February, but me and the IMF management have been talking, and
mm.
we are setting up something for later this year for me to come out, and
Wait,
who knows?
did you just say that you were going to the IMF to
That is
go and maybe
correct.
visit? You want to go on a visit, maybe a
No,
tour?
I'm doing more than
Is that where
visiting.
the honeymoon's gonna be?
No, no, I'm doing way more than visiting.
No,
I am gonna do a little bit of a more physical
physical.
interaction.
It's
Yes.
funny you said physical because you had a list, and there was a name that struck me most about a name you had from the IMF, and a guy that certainly, you want to talk about lightning rods, you want to talk about a guy that, he certainly last night, you want to talk about personal issues. This
Ugh.
guy named Anthony Steele, he was on your list, and he wrestles in the IMF, and you want to wrestle this guy, and why?
Oh, 100%. I've been following Anthony Steele for a good bit, and
Yeah,
surprisingly, even Anthony was surprised whenever I told him.
yeah.
And I really like a lot of the stuff that he does and a lot of who he is. And we've had some conversations about specific people, and they've always been good. And I feel like if I was to go to the IMF, I feel like there's only one guy I should go up against, and that is the real deal, Anthony Steele.
But you want the real deal, the most controversial figure in wrestling history, who last night literally walked off Sportswire Radio after what Mr. Brightside said to him. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen there. You sure you want Anthony Steele? You sure you want this?
Oh, I definitely want it. I think it needs to happen this
It
year.
needs to happen? Well, if Anthony Steele was out there right now, would you have anything you'd want to say to him? Would you want to maybe tell him you're going to change your mind? Maybe you're going to have a honeymoon with Janie there at the Palo Community Center there. Instead, maybe take a photo with him like I did with Rhino and Gabe Sayers and, just maybe, obviously congratulate him on all his success in the ring?
Listen, I can give him all of his flowers, but the one thing I will only have to say to Anthony Steele is when the time comes, you better watch your back, and there's a much bigger target on you than you ever think, and I'm gonna be shooting that arrow into that target, and I'm you better keep that championship right where nice and warm and a little bit warm for me, because who knows
Warm for you.
if
Warm for you.
he is champion by the time I come out there, I might have to kind of do a little bit of hardware collecting, and be the next face of IMF, I would say.
The
And
next face of the IMF. You want hardware, you want gold, you're talking about shooting arrows, and Anthony Steele, I think he's going to have something to say about it. As a matter of fact, I have received word that
mm,
you're getting some individuals that they want to maybe either welcome you or maybe tell you to change your mind. Maybe change your mind here. And would you like me to bring those individuals on though that might want to, obviously tell you to maybe change your mind or maybe tell you, you know what, this is where you should have the honeymoon.
Sure, you could definitely bring them up. And listen, today hasn't been the best of days, so
No,
I
not the
will
best of days.
say, I will say they can come up, spread their piece if they want to, or not. Who knows? Whatever they
Well,
gotta say.
before I do that, I do want to say thank you, Mama Comatose, for the super sticker. And by the way, Comatose gave me the reference on the Baja Blast, and we love Comatose. And thank you,
Wow,
Mama Comatose, by the way.
nice.
Yes, Mama Comatose gave us a super sticker, so we love Mama Comatose here, and thank you for this. But speaking to people that do want to come on here, are you sure? You sure you want me to do this?
Go ahead, go ahead.
You sure?
I'd love to. I'd love to see who it is.
Well, we don't know who this is. This is random. I have no idea who I'm looking at. So for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, the platform that Rhino came to Sportswire Radio. Wait a minute. No. We don't want no trouble tonight. We don't want any trouble here. Anthony Steele.
There he is.
Anthony Steele. Uh-oh.
Yo, hey, look, you're talking about coming to IMF. I'm on my way to see the Rapids right now. And
You are?
I'm on my way. The champ's got to get comfortable, get in this mindset. But, I want to say thank you for putting me on that list of yours. But you mind putting this together? Because I want to look at them very closely when I ask him this question.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have one more surprise coming on for you, sir, Mr. Wakefield, very shortly. Very shortly.
You mind zooming in, Tom?
Oh,
Zoom in on him. Zoom in on him.
Oh,
there we go.
So
sorry about
you
that.
you want to face me before the 2025 is up.
100%.
But yet, I'm one of the only people that didn't receive an invitation to that wedding.
Man.
I'm one of the only people that didn't receive an invitation to the reception.
Listen, Anthony, it's been a while since we talked, and you are definitely the one I think a lot of people would love to see, and maybe we might have to work something out for day 2.
You know what? You got somebody else that's upset that they didn't get a wedding invite. And
Everyone's
not quite
upset.
Gabe
Okay.
Sayers. I mean, Gabe's is upset too, and I believe he's also on your list, but he's not on your list. But he's upset right now because he's not on that wedding invitational list. It's Soldier G.
Man.
Chase, I told you, be careful what you wish for. I told you that. So we don't want no trouble.
It's great that both of you are
See
here.
that? We're getting ready. We're loading up the ring for New Year's Vengeance. You see how, look at that. Kicking it with Felix
Love
Jones.
Felix. By the way, Jordan Nets has got it out for you, by the way. I did see the
We're doing all the work while, the champions don't do shit. Yeah.
No comment. Anthony, just focus on are you okay, Anthony? I think he froze.
I think his connection's bad, but
I think Anthony walked off again on sports. Anthony's having a tough last 24 hours on Sportswire.
Tom, I'm glad that you brought up Soldier, actually.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you brought up Anthony.
Like I said, I'm traveling, so.
Oh, that's understandable, Anthony.
You guys talk about invites.
You got work for me.
Yeah, we got to talk about invites.
Yes. And
I'm planning on
actually.
I mean, the only thing I have going on in August.
My inbox is always open.
The only thing I got going on in August is All Out Warfare when it comes up.
This one?
Well, gentlemen, I will say, since Anthony Steele's on a delay here and his point will get crossed, why not right now here on Sportswire Radio?
I see me.
Oh, now there he is. There he is. I think.
I was about to say.
You okay, Anthony?
Since both of you are here.
Anthony's having some technical difficulties here. You understand he's traveling.
I will say this. Why don't, for day 2, why don't we add some IMF flair to the wedding invitational, and Soldier and Anthony Steele, I would love to see you two there, and I would love to have you two be at the wedding invitational. And I know I've spoken with Soldier in the past about it, and we're actually going to make something happen with the IMF coming to the wedding invitational. Since they're allowing me to come down there in the future, why not scratch their backs as well?
I don't know if they like that scratch.
I will say
Hey,
right now,
we all like good back scratchings. Come on.
exactly.
I'll leave that at that for the professionals to try.
And I will say to you here, Tom, I know I wasn't gonna really announce anything, but since Soldier GP is here, I'm here to announce that Soldier GP has been invited to the wedding, and he will be there.
That's nice of him. That was nice of you to invite him. But you invited Justin Parsley. He's not wrestling. This is Soldier GP. This isn't Justin Parsley here. This is Soldier GP.
Now, I can totally understand that. I actually have some respect for Soldier GP, unlike Justin Parsley. No offense, Soldier, on good luck and friend there.
With him
But
tomorrow.
The respect for Parsley is there's just a little bit of respect there.
listen, I don't know what Soldier is gonna do at the wedding. He might tear some heads off. He might make some people bleed. Who knows?
Hey, Dr. Dre is going to keep those heads ringing.
I'm gonna do what I do best, and that's kick ass.
Damn
That's
right.
what I
And
do.
that's-
Wait a minute. No.
Oh.
We had last night to
man.
deal with. We had last night to deal with.
I heard this fat mouth want to run his little dick suckers. That I wasn't doing nothing, but yet it took him all day to get out here.
It's a busy time running a company, brother. I mean, I'm busy.
I can see.
It sounds like Soldier's kind of in a windstorm right now. Not gonna lie.
Well,
It's
they're
kind of
doing
windy in
the
Iowa.
God's work. They're doing the people's work. They're putting a show together.
Man,
It's
So what's come
cold
on
out
here
in
for?
Iowa.
Like,
It's windy. Yes, they're not playing a football
It's
game in
true.
Soldier Field, literally.
you know they always say if I go in a windstorm, I get blown away. So that's why
You
I
are
try to stay
like
inside.
10 pounds. Of course, you're going to get blown away. You're talking about Soldier GP and Omen Black. You would take like 10 people to blow them away. You were like 10 pounds.
Listen,
I remember somebody saying that he was gonna gorilla press Omen Black.
That was yesterday's stream, but we don't want any
I'll do
trouble. That was last night. We don't want to go down that road. We don't. Mr. Black was already in a bad enough mood last night. We don't want
I
to.
remember Kay saying he was gonna gorilla press him. He's gonna lift him
I'm
over his
gonna
head. He was gonna
give-
slam him like Hulk Hogan did that no stinking giant.
Listen,
Chase, wait, are you on
500
PEDs?
pounds.
Is that what it is? Are you on PEDs right now? Are you on steroids, illegal growth hormones, HGHs?
They
Is that
call
what
me
you're
an
doing?
ant for a reason. Okay, I could lift.
Is
10
Janie in
times
the
what
chat?
my
Can
weight.
Janie confirm this?
I don't know, but
Janie!
rest assured, I will gorilla press Owen Black.
Chase,
If I ever
I
see him.
would say that you would like to get to the honeymoon. If you attempt to try that, you won't make it to the honeymoon.
Maybe not, but it'll be worth it in the end of the day.
It was nice knowing you after September. Then it was nice knowing you. It's been great having you on Sportswire, but enjoy your last few appearances.
Oh man, I'm counting my days, Tom. Counting my days.
Counting the days. It's been nice knowing you. I hope Janie. I hope she
I
gets
just
control
came
of
here,
that.
Chase,
Yes.
you can get a hold of me. Whatever you have planned for me at this wedding, just let me know.
You weren't invited. I was.
Oh, he left. Mr. Black left. He's in a not so good of a mood. What else is new? And Anthony
Maybe
Steele said his inbox is open.
Maybe I might just, have Omen and Soldier go at it one-on-one, for all I know.
You were here last night. You don't want to do that. You were here last night in the chat.
Listen, I was here, and it actually does sound pretty entertaining on my end. I love seeing people kill each other.
You want to listen. You want to live to the honeymoon. I keep telling you, you want to live to the honeymoon. Those guys
I'm
do
gonna
that
be
at
the
your
one
wedding.
living.
If you do that in your wedding, you're gonna have everybody be casual. Did you not see last night's show, Chase? Chase, I love you. You always come on here. We have a great relationship. You ask me for advice off the air all the time. I'm telling you as a friend, if you do that, Omen and Soldier, at your wedding, everyone's going to be a victim of war. Omen talks about war. It's going to be literally, we're all going to be casualties of war. Just saying, Chase. Just saying.
Listen,
if you make that match happen, it better be the main event because we're gonna wreck shit, and that's just
could be another way too. That's another good point. But I would say, Chase, think about that very, very wisely there. Very wisely.
I will say I will be watching the IMF very closely and seeing the outcome between these two teams, and maybe it'll kind of paint the direction for day 2 of things.
Well, you don't have Justin Parsley wrestling on the show, so what does it matter to you? You already said he's not wrestling, so I don't understand. What does it matter to you?
Justin Parsley can come carry my bags for me. He can come as my clutch man.
See, there you go. That's some use right there. I will agree to that. I would love to see that.
Do you think he could carry them? Do you think he could lift them?
Hey, he's a lot bigger in person than he is in camera. I'll tell you that.
Oh, so I guess in this case, camera doesn't add pounds; it actually decreases pounds.
I have that curse all the time.
He's just always around bigger guys, so it makes him look smaller.
Well, maybe he's spinning a tune to this right now. Maybe he's in Kendall's right now, spinning some tunes because the only thing he'll be spinning is maybe carrying bags to the wedding invitation.
I definitely need a helper for everything, so I need someone to help out with setting everything up.
So that's Justin's job then at the wedding invitation. All right,
he's gonna set the ring.
So Soldier and Omen, they're wrestling on the show. Anthony Steele inbox is open, right? And IMF, if you make it after what you've said here tonight, you will show up to the IMF, but not as 100%. A fan. Not as
100%. Not as a fan.
I hear through the grapevine Nikki Chooch might get there before you.
Hey, that's perfectly fine. He can show up tomorrow. He could show up next year. Who knows?
Still think you should show up with Ace Christian next month.
I had to look at my schedule honestly, but
doesn't matter. Don't you want to preview the what you go into? Don't you want to see the Field of Dreams? Iowa's the home of the Field of Dreams. Don't you want to see the?
I like to come in blind sometimes. I like to come in blind on some things.
It's all right. You can speak with management. We'll set something up. How about that?
We'll handle that. Soldier, I know you're a busy man. Anything else you want to say? Go set the ring up.
Well, we're gonna have a kick-ass show tomorrow. Hope everybody enjoys it when it comes out.
I donated 2 tickets to it. I donate at least multiple tickets every time. Please support the IMF. They're on YouTube. Drago is here Sunday night. Boy, speaking of which, I had a great conversation with Drago off the air. Happy birthday to his other half and anniversary as well. And we'll see him at 9:00. And we're not talking about tomorrow's show, but we're obviously inviting people to hear about what he talks about in the ring, where he wants to travel, some of the things he likes about being a wrestler. And I think it'll be really cool. I hope people will enjoy it. It'll be a lenient type of show. So hopefully Omen won't come on and you and Omen will, have what you had last. Hopefully it won't happen. Brightside and Anthony won't happen. And Mephisto and Ace Diamond. What a bizarre. That was bizarre. I've never seen anything like that before. That whole thing reminded. I'm not going there. Soldier, go. You guys set the ring up. Thank you for all you do for us. And we'll see you soon. Before we let you go, yes. Chase, I know you're a busy man, but you sure you want to do this? And you had Anthony Steele face-to-face with you. Omen Black came on and said very few words, but poignant words. And Soldier, you sure? You sure you want to do this? Show up as a fan, honeymoon?
I'm all for it. I'll do anything to get the name out, and if it has me to do some of the craziest stuff, I'll do it. YOLO, they used to say back in the day. You only live once.
I heard that term. All right, well, you know what? I think that we've talked about a lot. We ran down what's going to happen. VTW, DBW. Colton Lee now, aka formerly Big Tex, is here Monday. Van Hansen is here Tuesday. Eric Black is here. I think he's here February 5th, I want to say that. I think whatever date, I think it's the 6th. The 5th or the 6th, he's here. I'm very excited about that. Austin James is here. So we have a lot of DBW coverage here coming up and VTW coverage. Nikki Chooch was just here, so a lot of exciting things ahead. Maybe we'll see more documentary coverage, but please don't kill anybody this time or attempt to kill anybody. And anything else you want to get off your chest here tonight? You certainly had a firing squad of people that Chase. For you, Chase Wakefield, Kyle Shelby said he got an invite already. So great. I'm happy you invited Kyle. I hope everybody gets invited that was here. But anything else you want to say? Anything else that you feel you need to get off your chest tonight?
Well, I'd say kind of a rundown. We'll have DBW's coming back, of course. Who knows what I'll be doing in that. We got BTW.
Yes.
Union Rumble coming up next month, I think. I'm not sure when the date will be. We got the season 3 premiere. We also have me versus Matt DeMorris.
Oh, you know what? I am very, very excited about that match. I was speaking with Rad about that a few days ago, and I cannot wait to see that. I am excited about the stepdads being on the show. I'm excited to see you and Matt DeMorris. I mean, you want to talk about Matt DeMorris. I hope you know what? You may not even make it to Iowa after what Matt DeMorris might do to you. I mean, you boy, Mr. Wakefield, you have quite a long list.
I think when me and Matt DeMorris step in that ring, it's going to be a full circle moment. I talk about full circle moments whenever I was talking about Jack Delta, but this is truly the full circle moment. If it wasn't for Matt DeMorris, I wouldn't be right here at Sportswire talking.
Yeah.
No. It's something that I've never thought it would ever happen. And I'm very excited to see how it will go. Hopefully nothing happens during the wedding that will cause anything to be messed up.
You know, wrestling weddings, this happens, so you better hope that in yours it don't happen.
Yeah, cross my fingers on that. And as for stuff like the documentary, I've been getting a lot of praise, and a lot of people are like, when is the next one going to come out? And who knows when the next one's going to come out. But when it does, it's going to be very mesmerizing. And I've been using that word a lot lately.
You have.
And that's the only way I can best describe it. And I think overall, these next couple months are going to be very, very interesting for Chase Wakefield. And that's essentially it for right now.
I completely agree with that. Listen, I mean, I'm excited, to see Ace Christian wrestle Thomas McEntee. I think that's such an awesome thing. I'm so excited about that. Before we go, for me, I'm a DBW fan. I love VTW. And to see DBW, VTW, and IMF in a ring together, I think that's an awesome thing. I'm so happy for people that, no, I'm not drinking. Actually, for Kyle, it's Baja Blast. It looks like water, but it's Baja Blast. But thank you, Kyle, for the yeah, it's Chase's drinking water, Kyle. So, that you can thank Kyle for that, but Chase for that. But I'm drinking Baja Blast. But I think that's a great moment for the community. I think to see DBW, IMF, I think to see what's ahead here coming up this summer. I think DBW coming back's right around the corner. VTW, how about the Prodigies in VTW? I'm excited about that. I'm a big Prodigies guy. I love them. Jimmy Controversy, who, spoiler alerts, back here next month, loves the Prodigies. Gabe, loves the Prodigies. I love seeing new things like that. That's awesome. Zachary Depew, by the way, guy who's had a hell of a last few months, beat Ace Christian. The man, Mr. Christian, didn't want to talk about. He was almost turned into Sister Christian, to quote Night Ranger. But nice to see him in VTW. Silas, just a lot of awesome stuff. IMF tomorrow. I mean, we got ROEW. I mean, shout out to the ROEW guys. I know Kyle's doing that, but yeah. I was just surprised you're drinking something on stream. Well, I always drink all the time, though.
He always does.
I know. I always have a big gulp or something. I always have a red cup. So now I'm always drinking. But thank you, Kyle, for that. But Kyle has an Instagram stream at 12 o'clock. If you're up, you'd like to check it out, go support him. Check out. He's always here in our chats. I want to support those that support us. Thank you, Kyle, for your support. I know you're doing a great job out there. Keep it up. I'm very excited about this wedding. I think Eric Black, I'm excited to speak about. Very excited about him. And somebody else really exciting. I'll tell you who might come on off the air because I want to let the chat think about who that might be. But all right, so I'm going to let you go. I think you pretty much said what you had to say. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Before we go, I'm going to put Chase Wakefield's Instagram up here so people can follow the Wedding Invitational. Check him out. Give him a follow. Also, follow everybody that's a part of it. Ace, shout out to everybody. Nikki Chooch, who was here last week. D'Angelo the Flame. And, Aaron Blaze, who I'm sure will pop up again on Sportswire. And Soldier and Omen are a part of the wedding now. Anthony Steele, I think, will be a part of it. He'll be a part of it. If the Omen and Soldier will be there, he'll be there. And so many great people. Check them all out. Thank you, Chase. You definitely lived up to the expectations. Eric Black is a really, really good independent wrestler that you're going to know a lot about here in the coming weeks. So I'm excited about that. We'll have some other great guests. Van Hansen is here Tuesday night. V to the H is back. Very excited about to see him here. A whole slew of other people. And by the way, Justin Parsley, very quiet tonight. Very quiet, Justin Parsley. And it's such a big wedding that maybe you'll invite Nathaniel Rage from Appalachia, West Virginia. I'll take care of him. I'll give him your info on Facebook. I'll handle that. So just remind me off the air who I need to give the info to, and I'll do that. And my friend, I'm looking forward to next appearance next month or right after that, whatever it might be. And I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about. And you got what you wanted, it seems, and we'll see how you handle it. They're all coming up real soon, just real soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, well, that was Chase Wakefield. He is the Bitcoin billionaire for now, but after maybe this wedding cost, he may only be the Bitcoin millionaire. But my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I'm going to come on here at about 11 o'clock. Maybe I'll talk about what happened after SmackDown, talk about the NFL playoffs for a few minutes. And I'll be here tomorrow, 10 o'clock, with legendary backyard wrestling Psychotic Freak. But Sunday, tune in. 9 o'clock, Il Drago, the High Chief, speaks. We're going to talk about kind of almost some of his things as a wrestler he likes. Kind of a very low-key, lenient show. Hang out, chill. You're a wrestler. Want to talk to a fellow wrestler. I think it'll be a really, really exciting stream. So be there for that. And I hope Il Drago's on your list. Thank you, Mama Comatose, for that. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. And if you're on Sportswire Radio, like today's show, hit the sub button, and I'll see everybody here in a little while. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global version that is Sports by Radio, where all wrestling